Hey everybody, welcome to another yoga session. I'm so glad that you are joining me today. I apologize for some of the live technical difficulties we've had. Normally these yoga sessions are done live on Friday morning and I record them and upload them. And I've been having some technical difficulties lately, so I have no idea why. It's like all of a sudden my Wi-Fi wants to do its own thing. So I'm gonna let that do that, and I'm gonna do me, and you're gonna do you, and we're gonna get to it, okay? All right, so today's practice is really focused on fear. And really our issues with fear are a shift in our perspective. Our brain is trying to figure out what it is that we're facing, what is this, whatever is coming at us that brings up feelings of fear or being afraid of something. It's because our brain doesn't really recognize it. That's really the most basic explanation. Our brain doesn't recognize it. So it's trying to figure out, how do I get through this? How do I move through it? How do I analyze this? And that involves shifting our perspective. What is this like, so that I can act accordingly and hopefully draw on some history of something that's similar so that I can get through. All this is happening in our brain like just super, super fast. So fear actually goes, that feeling of fear actually goes through a lot of things before it gets to actual fear. So today's perspective, today's practice is about moving through fear. And we're going to be doing a lot of inversions as well as back bends. So we want to get nice and warm. I'm going to take my socks off. Going to get nice and warm, and we're going to just get into it, okay? All right, as always, if your yoga today is about observing, go for it, all right? That's maybe what you need today. So let's start out whatever seated position feels good for us. Closing our eyes, sitting up nice and tall, just taking that nice sigh, that sigh of relief. Perhaps our hands are in our lap, or maybe they're on our knees with our palms facing up. That's just a sign of being open and ready for all the good stuff coming our way, as well as being open and ready to give nothing but the good stuff. Just starting to pay attention to our breath here, where perhaps every inhale is about 3 or 4 counts. Same with every exhale. And just matching those two things up, that's setting up our breath rhythm. We try to maintain this breath rhythm throughout our practice, as well as when we are off of our mat. That is our first step to finding some calm. Just tapping into that breath rhythm. Feeling the chest rise with every breath that we take in, and feeling the shoulders melt away with every exhale. Any movements we feel we need to make, we're welcome to do so. Whatever we gotta do, just to settle ourselves in a little bit more. And lastly, we'll set our intention here. Whatever it is that we need a little bit more of or a little less of in our life. Perhaps it's some type of decision that we need to make, or we just want to send some healing vibes, some healing energy to someone else that might need it. We let that thought gently float into our mind, and then let it float on out. Still sitting up nice and tall. Let's go ahead, open up our eyes. Nice job. All right, from here, let's make our way to all fours. We're going to warm up that spine, fire up that core, because as we've talked about in the past, whenever we think about confidence, that comes from down deep. That comes from when we say dig deep, dig deep. We find that that involves our core area, which is just right around here, as well as our lower back, thighs, everything, glutes, everything back there. That's all a part of that core area, which taps into that confidence, which is so wonderful when we're facing fear, right? All right, all fours, hands are under our shoulders, knees right under our hips. And let's go ahead and take a couple of cat-cows. Gentle breath in. On our exhale, go ahead, round that spine. Ooh, yes. Inhale, leading with the tailbone. Exhale, round, always leading with that tailbone. If our wrists feel a little tender today, we can always be on our fists if that feels good. Maybe even Spider-Man hands, that's just pressing into those finger pads. I kind of like to travel between all three of those motions, all three of those poses, I guess. Exhaling on our round, really, really pulling that belly button in. And inhaling, letting the belly relax. Just a slight lift of the chin. Just a couple more here. Yes, let's do one more of each. There we go. Last one. We'll finish up on a round. This is our final movement right here. And we'll hang out in that tabletop position. Sending that right leg behind us. Ooh, yes. Really starting to kind of center ourselves. If we feel like we're leaning more toward one side, then just make your own correction. It's okay. Pull the belly button in, nice long spine. Toes are aiming toward the floor, and let's send that right knee down. Yes, gentle breath in. Let's send that left leg behind us. Leveling out our bodies, centering everything, hands under the shoulders, nice long neck. And let's send that left leg down. So moving with breath and perhaps adding our arms if it feels good today. Gentle breath in. Exhale, get long. Right leg comes behind, left arm comes forward. Inhale down. Exhale, extend. So this is our warm-up, but we're also getting ready to fire up those core muscles in just a few moments. Always exhaling on that extension. Let's do just one more here before we switch it up a little bit. Yes. All right. So from here, we'll take that right leg behind us, left arm comes forward, big breath in, and then draw the knee into the nose as we bring the elbow to the body. Whew. Inhale, extend. Exhale, down. All right. Let's take that inhale on the extension of the opposite leg. Exhale, draw everything in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, down. One more time, each side. Inhale, extend. Exhale, draw everything in. Squeeze in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, down. Last one, inhale, extend right here. Exhale, draw it all in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, down. Whew, yes. Let's sit back on those heels. Find that child's pose. Maybe rotate those hands, opening up the fingers, closing them. All right. And when we're ready, let's find our first downward dog. Tuck those toes under. Send the hips to the sky. Let that head be heavy. Press into the palms of the hands, and let's just walk that dog here. Inhaling on one side as the knee bends slightly, and exhaling, switching to the other. Always moving with this breath. This is our first inversion, which, if you think about it, it's a shift in perspective. The head is down. A lot of times in downward dog, we tend to hold our head up like this, and we're crunching the neck when we're doing that. And it never fails whenever I teach a class in person, and I say, hey, relax your head. It's not gonna fall off your shoulders. It's gonna stay there. I don't know if that's a fear or if it's just a habit, but it really is a shift in perspective. We're so used to holding our head up that when we are upside down or in some different position, it's a challenge to adjust and let go. All right, let's go ahead, gently bend those knees. Come all the way back down. Let's find that child's pose again. Yes. All right. Making our way back to downward dog. Let's send that right leg to the sky. Bring that right knee into the nose as we shift the shoulders over the wrists. This is the core power plank here. Take it back out. Let's bring that right knee to that right elbow. Take it back out. You can send your left knee down if you want to do it this way, extending that right leg. Bringing the right knee now toward the left elbow. It may be a little slower, a little different, but that's okay. Just make sure you are pulling those core muscles, pulling the belly button in. On this last one, let's bring the right foot in between the hands. There we go. Let's send that left leg down, relax the top of the left foot. Put some energy into that right foot as we rise up. This is just that modified crescent lunge. Take our time. And let's bring our hands gently behind us. Pull the belly button in so we're not overarching that back. Perhaps if we want to interlace those fingers. Yes. A little back bend here. It's so small. Let's just make sure that we're listening to our body, making sure that if we want to come out of a pose, we can at any time. Gentle breath in. And let's release those hands. Come on back down. Yes. Let's tuck the toes under of that left knee. Lift that right leg, take it on back. Let's go straight to downward dog. Yes. All right. Setting up for that other side, let's lift the left leg nice and high, getting ready for those core power planks here, bringing that left knee into the nose. Exhale, take it back out. Exhale, inhale, bring that left knee to the left elbow. Remember, you can send the right knee down if you want to. It's just yoga. It's not that serious. Last one. Let's send that left foot in between the hands. Woo! And let's send that right knee down. Relax the foot. Energy into that left foot as we rise up. Crescent lunge right there. Modified crescent lunge. Let's interlace our hands behind us or just bring them behind. It's all good. Slight lift of that chin. Don't forget to breathe. It's the most important part, right? Slow down the breath. 3 and 4 counts. Gentle breath in. And release. Yes. All right, so we have this right hand on the mat under our right shoulder. Let's take a little twist to the left side. Open up here, yes. If it feels better to relax that left hand behind us, we absolutely can. If you want to keep it lifted, go for it. Gentle breath in. And let's send that left hand down. Tucking the toes under. Lift that right knee. Send that left foot back. Whew, yes. All right, downward dog. Right leg lifts high. We're gonna find that twist on the other side. Bring the right foot in between the hands. Open up right here. Take that twist. If you wanna drop that left knee, go for it. Still breathing. You know, it's interesting about a yoga practice, or whenever you're practicing with someone online, whether it's me or any other yoga instructor, and you don't really know what's gonna happen, you don't know what the sequence is, how challenging it's gonna be, let's send that right hand down. There might be a level of fear there. Let's send that right foot back. But if we have that experience, or we're used to the instructor, or we've heard good things, we can tap into that familiarity to get through. We're in plank right now. Let's send those knees down. Find child's pose. Yes. Let's walk our hands over to the right side, reaching long with those the right hand. Reaching super long with that left hand. Feel that stretch in the side body. Let's walk those hands on over to the left side. Take our time getting there. Inhaling, coming on back to center. Yes. All right. Finding our way to threading the needle. We're on our knees. This time, let's drop to our elbows. Still somewhat of a little inversion because our head is somewhat upside down. And let's reach those arms forward. Drop the forehead. Left hand comes up high. Send the left hand underneath that right arm. That's it. Maybe drop that left cheek on the mat. If you want to just stay on your forehead, you can. Still breathing. Remembering it's okay to come out of a pose at any time if it doesn't serve our body well. Gentle inhale here. Let's go ahead, lift the forehead, lift that left arm out from underneath. Walk those elbows back. Let's find a little child's pose here for full breath. And when we're ready, threading the needle on that other side. Starting out in that puppy dog stretch with the hips over the knees. Extend those arms long. Yes. Forehead down, right hand lifts up high. Send the right arm underneath. It's okay if the shoulder doesn't touch the mat. And then maybe staying on the forehead or dropping the right cheek to the mat. Gentle breath in. And when we're ready, carefully coming out of that, pushing ourselves up. Let's make our way onto our knees here. If we prefer to be on our bottoms, that's absolutely fine. We remember that we can give ourselves permission to just observe, because that can be a part of our yoga practice. That is yoga. Watching what's going on around us, taking it in, and just focusing on the breath. Otherwise, if you'd like to go a little further, we will find a back bend here. The first thing we're going to do is we will find reverse prayer. So I like to show you from the side. Knees are under the hips, sitting up nice and tall. Chest is proud, lengthening that tailbone. So it's not quite pushing the hips forward. It's more so about lengthening the spine. You start from the bottom all the way to the top. We'll bring our hands behind us. That's it. Palms facing outward. And just breathe here. If we'd like to go a little further into reverse prayer, maybe we bring the tips of our fingers together and then just start to wiggle those hands together. Careful not to let those shoulders round forward. So showing you from the back, you'll notice that my hands are not touching all the way. They used to. I haven't done this pose in a while. So, you know, the more I practice, they'll get back to touching. It's not a big deal. And when we're ready, we'll just take a couple more breaths here. Feeling that chest open up. Let's slowly start to peel the hands away. Yes. Let the hands drop. Shake it out. Let's find child's pose. Maybe wrap our hands behind us for this nice little, I call it a turtle pose, a turtle child's pose. That's not really the name of it. I just feel like a turtle when I'm in here. It lets the shoulders drape over the knees. All right, let's bring those hands back under the shoulders. Push ourselves back up, finding our way to a tabletop position. We're just gonna love on our spine a little bit more right now before we move into another back bend, and then we will wind down. So let's round that spine. And inhale. Exhale, round. And inhale. One more time. Exhale, round. Inhale, take that arch. And last one, exhale, round. This is where we'll end. There it is. All right, back to that neutral spine. Let's come all the way back up onto our knees again. And this time, we can hang out here again with our hands kind of by our imaginary back pockets with the palms facing outward. If we'd like to go a little further, perhaps palms facing inward like they're in our imaginary back pockets. And give a little pressure on that lower back, but still almost like you're pushing, but your pelvis is pushing back. So engage those core muscles, lifting the chest from the top, slight lift of that chin. If we want to go a little further, perhaps we want to bring those hands behind us. really reach the fingers toward the earth, almost like they're reaching toward the heels. Little lift of the chin. If camel is a part of your practice, you may go for it. I'm not going to go into it today, but it's up to you. Yes. It takes some strength here to not want to just do this, but to really, really strengthen those core muscles, pelvis, and lower back, pushing each other, and then reaching that chest up and over, lifting the chin. Gentle breath in, and release back to child's pose. Yes. Oh, that feels good. Maybe that turtle pose again. Let those shoulders drape over the knees. All right. Let's bring those hands underneath the shoulders. Gently push ourselves up here. So from here, we're going to swing on around onto our bottom. Last little bit here before we wind down. So another great pose to combat fear is bridge. And we've done bridge plenty of times. So let's just go for it. Let's come all the way down onto our back. Yes. Bringing our heels just so we can touch with the fingertips. Knees and feet are about hip distance apart. Gentle breath in. And when we're ready, let's lift those hips. Just a couple of breaths here, making sure our knees don't open up, they don't cave in. Even though yoga is really about doing what feels good, there's also this kind of background of loving your body and how it was designed. And that's probably why I spend a lot of time on alignment and making sure your knees aren't doing this, making sure that you're pulling that belly button in, making sure that your knee's not past your ankle. Whew, gentle breath in here. Let's lower all the way back down, one vertebra at a time. But really, when we start to see those kind of changes in our mental wellness as well as our physical being, it's because we're paying attention to those little things, to how our body was designed, and really honoring that. So whenever let's go into bridge again. Gentle inhale, lift those hips. If you want to wiggle those shoulder blades in toward each other and interlace those fingers, go for it. Couple of breaths here. So whenever you kind of hear me spend time on the alignment or where certain things should be, it's honestly because I want you to see all that your body can do, to appreciate its design, and to remember that you're in control of it. Now my hips are getting heavy and I want to do this, but you know what? I'm in control. And remembering that we're in control of our body when we're facing challenges like those hips getting heavy right now, we focus on our breath, and that's going to bring us into this calm state that just kind of says, I got this. Gentle breath in. Let's release those hands. Open the shoulder blades back up from the top of the spine all the way to the tailbone. That's how we lower. Think about that amazing spine that's holding everything together, and you're giving some love to each vertebrae. Woo, yes. Let's hug those knees into the chest. Rock a little bit side to side. My butt is so big I can't rest my head on the mat. It's a very strange sensation. Oh man, all right, let's go ahead. Come all the way back down. Yes. Open up those arms like we're making football goalposts, and let's drop those knees to the left side. Yes. Let's bring those knees back to center. And take them on over to the right side. Bringing those knees back to center when we're ready. Hugging them into our chest. Gentle breath in. Let's go ahead and rock on up to seated. So when we do our shorter yoga practices, this is a 30-minute one or thereabouts, we usually finish with a seated meditation. When we have our longer practices, whether it's 45 minutes to an hour or more, then those are the ones that we do our Shavasana all the way down on the mat. But it's the same amount of time for the final relaxation. So whatever feels good for you, whatever position speaks to you as you close out your practice, that's the one you want to get into. All right? All right, let's go ahead. Sit up nice and tall. Oh, yes. Or if you're laying down. Let's go ahead, close our eyes. Just take a few moments here. Grateful that we have this technology to practice yoga together. Grateful that we have this awareness that we need a little more yoga in our lives. Grateful that we have each other. Grateful that we were able to get up today, because that is a gift that not a lot of people had. And as long as we still have breath, we still have wonderful things waiting for us, and wonderful things that need our love and need our attention. So let's just enjoy these last couple of minutes. That we like to call Shavasana. we start to bring some awareness back to our body just by wiggling our toes and fingers a little bit at a time. Making slight movements with our hands and feet. And then when we're ready, and only when we're ready, making our way to a seated position. Whatever seated position feels good for us. And then gently opening up our eyes, sitting up nice and tall. Big breath in, hands come all the way up toward the sky. Exhale, let's release everything and everyone that we don't need, that's not for our good. Inhale, taking in everything that is good, all the blessing and gifts waiting for us. And let's let go. Let go of any tension, any junk, anything that just doesn't serve us well. One more time, bringing our hands all the way up toward the sky, together at heart center. Thank you so much for practicing yoga with me today. I appreciate you very much. I hope that you appreciate yourselves just a little bit more. Namaste. So some of the poses in today's practice I got from this book called Yoga Cures by Tara Stiles. She's amazing. She's a yoga instructor out of New York. And I just love this book because it doesn't have like long sequences. So if you've been practicing yoga for a little bit, perhaps as you do a sequence, maybe incorporating some of these poses. And it has remedies for anxiety, arthritis, cellulite, depression, the flu, a hangover, hot flashes, insomnia. So of course, like anything, it's not a, oh, do this pose and you're cured of that. Absolutely not. It's really just more of the magic of yoga and, well, the scientific magic of yoga. There's science behind it. And then just some poses that really are good for many, many ailments that you could think of. So pick up this book. It is probably on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, whatever. Follow her, Tara Stiles, on Instagram. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.